Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? Dakota, Jack, Coach Paul, how are we doing today?
Good. Can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. Welcome, guests.
Got a
I can hear
party
you.
going on. Got a party going on. Why are we all here right now? You might be asking. Welcome to At the Buzzer, the Nvidia Watch Party edition. We do have the most important earnings of our lifetime coming out in just about 5 minutes or so. Welcome to At the Buzzer. The goal of this segment is usually to report on or review what happened in the markets for the day. But we know that as Nvidia goes, the NASDAQ and the equity markets are going to go as well. Are here for a show. We got Jack's screen up right now, taking a look at the Nvidia chart, trading $187. Jack, what should we be excited for right now?
Excited for some volatility. As mentioned earlier, we can check the numbers we're looking for. They're looking for $54.9 billion in Q3 revenue. $1.26 is the estimate for the earnings per share for this quarter. Then there will be the call afterwards. Should be exciting. I think 3:20, so about 5 minutes till go time.
Did you sell a straddle?
Sold a few of them.
I got one too.
I got
I got a few of them.
Yeah. I got 185 and 187 half paid. 1330 for the 185s and 1340 for the 187 half.
Okay. I got 85 and 90. I went up to 90 on that pop.
Okay.
How long of an expiration?
2 days.
Friday.
Oh, wow.
Friday expiration.
Not
Coach
quite
Paul,
0 days.
Well,
Paul, did you sell any straddles?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, not.
It's here to watch the show. Go ahead, Jack.
No.
We're just trying to play the IV crush here. I have an underlying couple of positions in Nvidia. I would prefer if it's going to rip down, I suppose would be safer. But I have enough on to make this interesting, but not to make me crash out or have to worry about any.
Oh, I'll crash out.
You got pedal to the metal there?
No, I only got two straddle, like two options. So I sold two straddles, I guess. So
Okay.
a couple $100 is all.
There you go. And these guys are talking option strategy. I know with Topstep we do trade futures, but some of us trade everything. So explain to us a little bit, if you guys can. What are you looking for in a trade like that? All right, Jack, you said you're looking for the IV crush.
Yeah.
It's called the nothing ever happens trade. The idea is that there's a lot of implied volatility around the earnings, and that will be wiped out in large portion no matter what happens with these earnings. Now, The danger is, and you have to be careful when you're doing stuff like this, because if it rips way one way or the other, you could theoretically lose an infinite amount of money. But Nvidia is a $5 trillion market cap company, so I would never do this on a very small stock or something like that.
Makes sense.
It's highly unlikely it's going to rip 30% one way or the other.
Exactly.
Stuff.
Essentially, a straddle means we want it to go sideways. Like if we're watching the NASDAQ, we want it just to go sideways.
Makes sense.
Boring. Boring is good. Did enough straddling.
Range bound.
Just had to sneak that one in there. Let's check. The last I checked this morning, Nvidia was the heaviest weighted company in the NASDAQ, 13%. So if you're wondering why are we looking at the Nvidia earnings, again, as Nvidia goes, the NASDAQ is going to go as well. And it's the heaviest weighted company in the S&P as well. I think it's closer to like 8% over there in the S&P. But really important component of the markets that we trade every day. Just about 2 minutes before game time here, take a look at the NASDAQ right now, trading 24,710. And Nvidia is trading at $186. The only exposure I have to Nvidia is owning some shares. Not as great as Hoag's price. I know we were all talking before about buying on the dip earlier this year. Bought some in the lower 100s, which is nice. I mean, Hoag's average is like $60. So whether this goes up, down, side, Yeah, whether it goes up, down, or sideways, Hogue is chilling right now.
I know I got
So-
some with him and like the 90s, but he's owned the Nvidia for a while.
Yeah.
Just full disclosure, Dakota, I have 2 of the 185 straddles and 3 of the 187 half.
Okay.
So you can see, you can
skewed
imagine.
one
So if it
direction?
rips one way, you guys could all, yeah, because I'm technically a little bit short delta on Nvidia. So I'd
Uh-huh.
prefer to get filled the other way than the call way.
So you want it to sell off?
I want it to go nowhere, but I'd prefer it sold off than ripped.
Oh, yeah.
News coming out in the next
30 seconds here.
You'll see it move on the charts probably first before we get the numbers.
Right. As soon as we get those numbers, we will get them to you all. Expectation is
dom is
$1.26 a share.
There's nothing on the order books.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would
all-
show the order book, but I'm not sharing my brokerage screen. That seems dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Go seeing some volatility pick up here, and it's gonna go both ways. NASDAQ just jumped.
Okay, it's up.
Looks like a beat. Looks like a beat.
Must not have been like a stunning beat though.
I like it.
We didn't get the Shrek candle.
See, we'll get that number in just a second. My friend Peter Schaap asked, can we look at the NASDAQ chart as well? I'll switch it over really quick. Got Jack's screen
Nvidia.
up here right now.
Nvidia up
That-
5%.
That is the NASDAQ trading 24,802. Nvidia trading $190 right now. What's the all-time high in Nvidia? It's much higher than this right now. Right?
212 or 214 or something.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's at 91, up almost 6% here.
Refreshing here. Seeing if we got that number just yet. The market has it. $192
Yeah.
trading in Nvidia right now. Look here.
Up 7%. We're going.
Paul, we're right back at that 200 moving average in the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I'm watching the NASDAQ on my screen here.
Right back
Here
at
we
that 200
go.
moving
Go
average.
on.
This is fine.
194. Wow, this is just growing here. Let's see. Still refreshing. Not getting that number just yet, but as soon as we get it, we will bring it to you. Right before the close, the White House moves to block the bill limiting AI chip exports.
Yeah, that was fun. I
Yeah.
got Nvidia 51.2 billion.
Okay.
Sees Q4 revenue 65 billion plus or minus 2%. And $1.30 versus 126 expected for earnings. So like a beat, but like a slight one. So this will all depend on guidance.
Right.
I don't.
We do have that earnings call where we will get that guidance. That is 5 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Central. So just about 40 minutes from now. But it sounds like a beat, like you said, and you said it, Jack, in that price action that we saw, it didn't seem like it was anything spectacular, right? Nvidia is up 4.5% after the close right now. But a lot of times we see this knee-jerk reaction, and then it'll come right back down to where it was trading before the close.
Yeah, it's an expected beat, right?
Yeah.
In line.
Yep.
Market's reacting
Expectations.
positive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Coach Paul, I want to ask you, as a futures trader, how much do you pay attention to some of the bigger earnings? And does it affect your trading at all?
No, to be honest, no. And for one reason, I trade. That's when whatever I'm trading, whether it's NASDAQ or S&P or gold, I'm
Right.
focused on the action in the time frame I'm trading.
Absolutely.
Well, honestly, pending something in the call, I'm feeling pretty good right now about my
Yeah.
position.
I was gonna say cheers, Jack.
Yeah.
Nice trade, guys.
It didn't blow it out. For those of you who don't trade options, like I'm probably in the money unless it goes above like 200.
Yeah, that's about where it's at.
Maybe
Yeah,
not tomorrow morning, but
by Friday.
yeah.
Here we go. One more time with those numbers. Hold on financial juice as well. Nvidia earnings Q3 earnings per share came out at $1.30. Expectations were $1.26. Revenue 57.01 billion. Estimates were 55.19 billion. So a slight beat on both. Again, that guidance during the earnings call, 5 p.m. Eastern time, will give us a little bit more insight on where Nvidia is going. White House blocking bills, limiting chips. So it sounds all good. Talk to us a little bit about this trade, guys. How do you manage this one? Is it, you got 2 days to expiration? Shout out to all our zero DTE friends. One of my favorite things about Nvidia earnings today takes me back to a couple of years ago. I was trading with some coworkers. I think I've told this story before, but guy buys calls, just naked calls, and the stock drops 10%. And he's just like, damn, should have bought puts. But you guys are trading this. You guys are trading this the smart way, right? Like not the zero DTE, take a gamble. The volatility crush is going to kill a naked options position in either direction. But how are you guys managing this one?
I won't claim that it's the smartest trade in the world. It's pretty straightforward. It's just more that, like, I saw people saying like calls are paying. Maybe depends on where you got them. There's going to be IV crush. It's only up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's only up $4. The 187 call was like $6. So actually, if it like opens here tomorrow, you're going to be down money.
Yeah, that's the volatility crush that we're talking about. Like Nvidia, when it was trading at 185 and you buy calls, you're paying $5 worth of premium. And if it doesn't go anywhere, you lose $5. Even if we do go up, it's still a loss. And so that's kind of what we're doing. We're doing the opposite. We don't want this thing to really move very much, which so far we haven't.
It moved. It's coming right back. It is coming right back. $191 trading right now. The NASDAQ trading 24,815. We will see, right? This is, in Dakota, you were talking about it. The DOM was pretty thin, right? So this is a low volume time. The market's really going to get a chance to respond to this tomorrow, right? So we get the guidance, or actually for slow markets tonight, we'll see what the market's response is, if anything at all. I'm going to be honest. Now that we got this out of the way, tomorrow is another huge day. Right? We had that government shutdown. Let me just read through what's on the calendar for tomorrow. U.S. average earnings year over year, non-farm payrolls, jobless claims, unemployment rate, existing home sales. Got a couple of Fed speakers as well. Tomorrow's a big one because we're getting all of that data that was on the shelf for the government shutdown. So if you missed volatility, it's coming back as early as tomorrow. Jack, anything you're looking forward to tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to this not ripping above 200 during the earnings call.
Gotcha.
If it does, like, the key with all this stuff, doesn't matter what you're trading, it's friggin' like Pokemon cards or futures or options or whatever, is to size appropriately so that you don't like I'm not gonna be sweating on this tonight,
right?
Obviously.
Yeah, that's a good call. Well, manage your risk regardless of what you're trading. How do you manage your risk trading Pokemon cards? That's
a good question. I never actually played Pokemon. I just know that's something people trade.
Yeah.
Really good card protectors.
Okay, there you go. PSA certified?
Yeah, PSA certified. Keep them, in high spots so kids can't get to them.
So you trade them, Dakota?
I have a few, yes. I have a few, and I take good care of them. Make sure nobody knows where they're at and can't get to them.
Nice. Do you know the value of them? You check it on eBay every once in a while. And it's like, hey,
no.
Okay,
these are like cards that I had since I was like 6.
Yeah, sentimental value. It's hard to put a price on those. To put a price on those. Well, good stuff, guys. We did get that Nvidia earnings out. Let's check one more time for exactly what the. Why can't I find this? Why does TradingView make this so difficult to find? Came in at $1.30. $1.30 per share. Expectations were $1.26. Revenues came in at $57.01 billion. Estimates were $55.19 billion. Data center revenue $51.2 billion. I'm curious to keep watching that number as we get more investment in AI space. And I think we were talking. Who was I talking with the other day about some of the AI companies maybe not reporting how much they're spending on data center upgrades for
Yeah.
all of the servers that they need. There's a ton of money coming into that space right now. So if you have a empty warehouse or something, you want to put some servers in there, you could probably get somebody to pay you some money for your data center space. Networking revenue 8.19 billion. Estimate was 7.75 billion. Here we are. Slow down for now. Jack, we got a question for you in the chat. You said this trade is not going to make you sweat. Have you ever? When's the last time you've been in a trade that has made you sweat?
The most I've sweated in the last 2 or 3 years was, I was kind of documenting it. I was on TopstepTV at the time, but it was during that most recent GameStop run where there was one evening where, in the pursuit of hedging risk, I just had to keep on buying and buying more and more GameStop stock at higher and higher prices. And I sweated a little bit that night, but then that morning was like, oh, we're going to dilute a ton right here. And I wish I hadn't hedged. Would have been a really great trade. But like, I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I stopped trading professionally. Like, I don't want that in my life.
Deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's enough stress. There is enough stress. Dakota, you're just sitting back, chilling there.
Yeah.
Any management of this trade that you do, you just leave it on, let it work, see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, leave it on, see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, I have the 185, 190, and the volatility it's just, as long as we don't have a 10% day in that Nvidia, I'm good.
Right.
And even if we do, I mean, it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Last time I've been exercised, I go exercising every day.
Oh,
No, I've never
That's a good one.
exercised anything unless I that's the desired outcome. I doubt, like, tomorrow morning, the first thing I'll do, if this is still like trading around here or a little lower, is probably cut a bunch of it. So I'll probably do that either way, to be honest. I'm not trying to play short Nvidia calls.
Naked calls. No. Move. Naked
It's
options.
it's a $5 trillion company, though. Like, it's not going to go up 100%. It's not like GameStop. There's not enough money in the universe to
Knock on wood, man.
I'm not even going to say that just because like now something will happen, but a lot more people will be more screwed than I am if that happens.
we could always hedge if it's up a gazillion percent.
Yeah.
Take a look one more time at this NASDAQ chart. NASDAQ trading on the highs. Nope, not near the highs of the day. 24,917 last trade in the NASDAQ. Again, Nvidia is 13.5%, the heaviest weighted company in the NASDAQ. I think it's 7.5% in the S&P. S&P trading 66.97 near the highs of the day. Of course, why are we looking at this? We trade futures here at Topstep, but as these big companies go, and Nvidia is usually the last as far as big earnings go. I think we got everything else, right? All the big tech companies are out of the way.
I think so. Nvidia is usually really late in the earnings cycle.
Does this clear us for all-time highs?
Good question.
I was saying, does this give us the green light for all-time highs?
In the NASDAQ or in?
Yeah, in the NASDAQ. Both. I think Nvidia, for sure. But
well, we're trading like 6,700 in the ES right now. So we haven't even been cleared for highs of the day yet. We got to, like, it was a good earnings. Like, with Nvidia, you should expect excellent earnings. Anything less would be a big problem.
I really think, and Paul and I talk about it all the time. We trade the technicals. I really think whatever happens tomorrow with some of this data that comes out will tell us what's going to happen with that all-time high. And I know some of the data, it's like, I've heard people say it's stale data, whatever it is, but just the fact that we haven't gotten any of these numbers in a month and a half, that'll let us know. Dakota, I know we were looking at that 25, what was that price? 24,100s in the NASDAQ. technically, I feel like we still need to go and trade that. That's just a feeling, though. We'll see.
Yeah. I'll ask you what they were asking us in the New York Stock Exchange. What will bring
yeah.
this market down?
Bad news.
Bad
Maybe.
news from Nvidia. Not getting it yet.
Can bad news even really do it? You know what can bring this market down? Coach Paul's gonna like this answer.
Yes, I can. I know what you're going to say.
So go ahead and say it, Paul. What could bring this market down?
More sellers than buyers.
More sellers than buyers. Whatever catalyst they have for selling it, yeah, that'll bring it down. But do they really have a reason to sell this? We've had 5% pullback off the all-time high in the NASDAQ. We're kind of sitting at 5% right now. Right now, actually, the S&P is about 3.5% off the all-time high. Is that what we needed? Just a little pullback for the Santa rally. We'll see. Shall see.
So the earnings call starts at the top of the hour, as was said in the chat. Whatever time zone you're in, the top of the hour will be the same. 4 o'clock here in Chicago.
4 p.m. Central Time. You can get that on the Nvidia website if you do want to listen into it. Yeah, if you want to listen into that. Flash Golden says you guys trade gold. Yeah, absolutely. Trade it every day. Traded every day. Billy has a options question here. Throw this to Dakota or Jack. How far away time-wise does the volatility cost start to increase for options expiring right after earnings? Does that question make any sense for you guys as options traders?
Yeah. It's always there. I mean, they're pretty good at pricing those things. You'll notice, like, just go out if you can see option quotes down the chain, just look at Nvidia's next earnings, and they probably only have monthlies right now, but there'll be more IV on the next one that's right after earnings. Obviously, I only do this like for a very short-term play, so in the weeklies it's going to be huge. It's not like every week you go out and there's 7% or something like that.
Right.
I wish.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, in my experience when I was in options in the treasury options, on big numbers, the premiums get inflated from people buying protection in front of big numbers. So professional options traders loved it because as soon as the news came out, they just pound it because 90% of the time the expectation was inflated. But if you're going to trade short options, trade it like these two are doing. You can sell a strangle or a straddle where you don't get caught naked short an option in front of a number where traders die 1,000 deaths.
Getting caught naked is only good in a couple instances that I could think of. Not many.
Hamina.
Not many places where getting caught is.
No, we don't want to misdemeanor here.
Coach Paul. Yeah, definitely not. All right. Anything else you guys got, Jack, Dakota, on the earnings? You guys are more than welcome to stick around. We're gonna get into the rest of the markets. Up to you guys.
I gotta jump off now and go pick up my son from daycare. So I'll be doing that. But pleasure. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys.
Absolutely,
and,
Jack.
I'll see you. Well, I'm off the rest of the week, so everyone have fun. I'll give whatever I get out of this position at, win, lose, or draw. I'll let you guys know.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Jack. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your time off, man.
All right, talk to you later.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Later, Dakota. All right. There we have it. Welcome everybody to At the Buzzer. Thanks for joining Nvidia Watch Party edition there. See, we got 1,200 people watching right now. If you guys can do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. And if this is your first time watching At the Buzzer, welcome. What we normally do during this segment is review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity Want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. I'm Coach Jay. I'm the Top Step Performance Coach since June of 2023. That is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get right into the markets.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thank you for being here each and every day that you are. We'll go ahead and take a look now at the rest of the markets. Let me move this over here. Get started in just a minute. Right, and transition. All right, there we go. We already went over the news, not too much as far as news goes today. So we'll take a look at the quote board. We do this every day. The biggest percentage movers, the top 3 to the downside and the upside. Today we have micro Bitcoin futures down 2.65%, soybean meal down 2.75%, and RBOB gasoline futures down 3.13% for our biggest percentage mover to the downside. To the upside, we have NASDAQ right now up 1.25%. Thank you, Nvidia. Just kind of saved the day there. The Nikkei up 1.75%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 4.21%. To round out our big 4, crude oil down 2.08%. The S&P up 0.77%. We had gold up 0.34%. We already talked about the NASDAQ up 1.27% on the day. I got a NASDAQ chart up here, Coach Paul, on the daily. What are we seeing here on the daily chart in the NASDAQ?
Well, double bottom temporarily here. Inside day from yesterday, the big expecting, waiting for this earnings report, which was as expected, but still under the 50-day moving average. And then kind of a neutral day, really. We'll see what tomorrow if we can get back above that 50. But until then, I'm favoring the sell side.
Favoring the sell side in the NASDAQ here. Presented a ton of opportunity, great opportunity on both sides of the market today. We are still trading in the middle of this October 10th candle. Right around 50% of it, the market has found some balance here. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart now. Looking at the overnight session, I think we can honestly probably skip it. Not a lot happened in the overnight session. I think the anticipation, kind of waiting for what Nvidia was going to do, kept us pretty quiet in the overnight session. If we look at VWAP, it was pretty much a flat line. You could have traded the range a couple of times, but we did start to see that volatility pick up early on, and it was honestly, it looked like the Nvidia earnings came out before the open, Coach Paul.
We did the exact same thing. And where did we stop?
What is
the white line?
What is that white line? We have 1,100 people watching right now. I know some of you are here each. We got a question. What is that white line? It's it in the chat. What is that white line?
It stopped hard.
Yes, it did. And there we go. Our loyal viewers in the chat, the 200 simple moving average. This is on the 30-minute chart here. We can see it's a line in the sand that if you're our first-time viewer here, we pay attention to this 200 moving average on the daily and the 30 often because of reactions like this. As strong as that buying was this morning, we'll take a look at a shorter time frame chart. Go down to actually, let me mark out that 200 moving average first. And we'll go down to a shorter time frame chart because early on, Coach Paul, this just looked like we were going to run away, and we kind of did. Here's the first 3-minute opening range. We had volume and price leaving that range pretty early. And this is a huge move. This is 400 points in 45 minutes in the NASDAQ.
Well, and it was right off the bat that it was buying that anchored VWAP to the opening. We left that range after the first candle, and we were talking at the time. There was heavy buying.
Heavy.
I mean, was there any big news that I don't remember seeing any big news.
I did not see a headline at all. It was just buying, just buying early and often. And like we said, Coach Paul, during the Nvidia earnings, I know you and I both have kind of the same feel here. We use volume to trade often, and whether there's news or not, it's going to show in the price action and in the volume. And in this case, this is what we've called that urgency trade, where we had volume leaving the range in the first 10 minutes, and price closed outside that opening range in the first 3 minutes. Right? I look at a 3 minute opening range. You look at a different time frame, but either way, this volume aggressively leaving this range, it was hard to kind of sell against this because you were selling against some heavy flow to the upside until, of course, we got to that 200 moving average. One of the things we've started doing as well is framing out that candle that tests the 200 moving average and then see what happens from there. That volume just dies out, and a really nice short back into the middle of the range. This is just a huge range day in the
I feel
NASDAQ.
like I'm in trigonometry class looking at that rally and break.
Right.
Let's ask our audience, what is that, a parabola?
Right. Yeah. What shape are we seeing here? This looks like that. Looks like a Six Flags roller coaster inspiration or something here. Look at this thing. Just shot right up and right back down. Dan Emmons in the chat says, let's not forget about the 80-point drop after the New York Open that wiped out all the trailing stops. Yeah. So that was interesting. We had, and what Dan is talking about is this right here, whatever this was. Braden was short, and he's short from about 675, and all of a sudden on the stream he goes, "What the hell was that?" And the NASDAQ dropped. And I'm looking at a 1 minute chart here. This was like a 15-second, maybe a 10-second move, where the NASDAQ dropped 80 points and popped right back up. Failed selling, whatever you want to call it. Just a really sharp move. And this is why we say it all the time. If you're over leveraged, you probably can't. But trading with wide enough stops to kind of sit out of any of that craziness, especially in the NASDAQ. The S&P is a little bit more forgiving, but the NASDAQ is just a crazy market. And, I don't know what that drop was. Was it a headline or not? By the time you figure out that it was a headline, the market was already up 400 points. So, we got to trade what's in front of us.
Well, and anything could have happened. I mean, we were talking yesterday at length about should I, trading the NASDAQ and its idiosyncrasies.
Yep.
If we line up an S&P, I don't think we got that burp. And by the way, it's not unexpected.
No, it's just the environment that you're trading in. Right? It's if you are in the NASDAQ, just assume that every once in a while you're going to get something like that, and it's not going to make sense. A very thin market. Somebody could have, fell asleep on their keyboard and fat fingered 1,000 lot and then wake up and oh shit, I need to get out of that trade. Right? Who knows what it was? But the market is so thin that anything like that can affect it. But yeah, not seeing that in the S&P, Coach Paul.
Yeah.
To your point.
And that's why it came right after that discussion we had yesterday, and that's part of the game. Now, if you have trailing stops, that's the risk. That's the thing with trailing stops. When they work, they're great, and when they don't,
yeah,
you're like, oh. But if you use trailing stops and you get stopped out, and you have an edge doing that, continue to do it. I mean, you can't control that. But I just, from my experience, if in NASDAQ, you got to give a wide berth.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? What kind of animal? Bucking bull?
It's the angry bull. The NASDAQ is the angry bull. The S&P is the bull at the petting zoo. His horns are dull. But even then, in the S&P, if you're over leveraged, it does move a ton as well. These are not small moves in the S&P either. This is a 18-point 3-minute candle. So volatility for sure today. Opportunities on both sides, but we got to understand that opportunity is opportunity to lose as well. But as long as we manage risk, there is some great trading here. Coach Paul, anything you're seeing in the S&P chart that's different from the NASDAQ, or pretty much the same here?
Very much the same. We're still holding the I can't even say it. The tantrum candle.
Tantrum candle,
Um,
October 10th.
and we're still hanging in this edge, but we need to recover that 50-day moving average. But today, that opening today, I think we saw the first professional buying in a while.
Okay.
Because of the way it took off. Right off with the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, they all had buying in them,
Yep.
and it just went. That's not the DNA of a retail trading environment. That's professional. That's professional buying. So, we haven't seen that this week.
No, we
At
haven't.
least the way I measure it.
Yeah, that type of urgency. No, we haven't. So we will see what that means. Let's take a look really quick at some of the other equity markets. There are 4 of them, and one of the things we've been kind of paying attention to is, a little bit of a divergence between them. The Russell is the weakest of them all, and we have the October 10th candle mapped out on all of these. In the Russell, we had the 20 moving average cross below the 50 a couple of days ago, and that October 10th candle is a resistance now, right? Looking at the low of it, take a look at the S&P again. We're sitting in the middle of that candle, holding the trend a little bit better, and then the Dow, what looked like the strongest of them all, but the Dow also now kind of just sitting at this 50%. We got a ton of data coming out tomorrow. Look at any economic calendar, 8:30 Eastern time. It is packed on that calendar. So just watch out if you're trading the equities tomorrow. It is sure to bring volatility. We'll be talking about it during the opening call. But anything else you have on the equities?
Yeah, one thing. Someone's asking, what is that MACD as sub chart on your chart? That's something new.
That is something new. And I just put it on there today. Somebody mentioned it to me. So I was just taking a look at it. It is what is this? I forgot what the SMI ergodic indicator. I don't know how to use it. So it's just on there because somebody was mentioning it. I'm not even going to talk about it because
Is the SMI what?
SMI ergodic indicator and oscillator.
It sounds
Have you
like
heard of it?
something they showed me when I went in the pot store in Chicago. Oh man.
Oh man, that's too good.
New highs coming.
New highs. Yeah, right. New all-time highs. New all-time highs. That is a it's a measure of volatility. I'm not even going to pretend that I know. Someone mentioned it every once in a while, and it's kind of part of my job as a coach here at Topstep. A trader might mention something, you bring it up, you take a look at it, you say, "Oh yeah, I can see how you look at that," and then you take it off and never look at it again. So if you use it, use it. But I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to even. Yeah, but if I spent enough time with it, I'm sure we could.
Hey, it could be valuable. I'm not putting it down, but
Oh yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that name. I'm going to ask for it next time.
Yeah, it's all organic. All right, let's take a look now at the metals. Taking a look at gold here. What are we seeing on the daily in gold?
The what? I can't see it. No, it was flat. Failed rally. Look at that. Looked like a failed rocket launch. We're still above the 20-day moving average.
Yep.
And every day we're just having deja vu again. How many days was it in going sideways? 90 days?
130 calendar days.
Oh
It
my God.
was
So
130 calendar days, 94 trading days that we sat
yeah, it was
in a consolidation in gold.
and we're still, I mean, we're in that right now.
Yeah.
We're still above the 50-day moving average, but yeah, it's and trading it. I haven't traded it this week, but I'm looking at it. It's trading the way it looks. I mean, there's not much conviction. Anything you said that I'm missing in that?
No, so I think there is conviction, right? I think the market is just saying, "Hey, we're good here." And like you said, keep going back to it. This consolidation looks like where we're at right now, right? This was the prior all-time high. This was April. We made that all-time high. We had that blow off top kind of volume, and it looks like the same pattern where we rejected at 50% and consolidated. Then we tested into that candle, failed, rejected at 50% 6 times before we eventually broke. And this is attempt number one. This morning during the opening call, we were talking about the low of this candle exactly and saying, hey, if we close inside here, then maybe we get another potential test at that 50%. And we didn't, right? The market failed. We traded up above those 4100s. 4092 is the low of that candle. And we're just not finding any buyers in it right now. The 20-day moving average was the low of the day. So nice opportunity to buy off of there. But yeah, this looks like like you turn the key on your car and you're like, come on, start. and it doesn't start. So you got to wait a second. Then you try to turn it on again, and then eventually you're just like, okay, maybe I got to take this thing to the shop because it's not going anywhere. With that being said, it is still presenting a ton of opportunity to trade, right? High to low range. We had a 75-point range, $75 range on gold today. There could be worse markets, but if you're looking for a breakout, if you're looking for that, hey, this is going to be the next move to get to all-time highs, gold's not saying that right now, right? So you got to trade the market that is in front of you. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. We had a Richner Partner. That's a new name. I don't recognize that one. Gold had some good momentum on Asia starts this week, though. Great point. That is one of the things that we look at often. And let's take a look. So actually, let's just go to the Asia session open. That is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time.
And that's Shanghai.
Shanghai open. That's a great trade.
And yeah. And that gave us a nice 2-to-1 at least. Boy, that had a great start. Great point, Richner Partner.
Yeah.
But where did it go to? And it couldn't. Now here we go again. And when we get the 200 is let's just not blindly use it.
Correct.
But what happened when we first got there? We stalled. I mean, and look at the slope of the 200. It's sloping down. It's got work to do to really rip through. Especially coming from a lower price. So let's anchor a VWAP onto that 200 first time it caught it. Now, the VWAP doesn't leave that candle's range. Right. Price did. That that last two candles at the high kind of were probably blowouts. Got to get out.
Yep.
You got to call from the broker.
Yeah, fine. It's going up. I'll get out. And then it turns around.
And can you put session VWAP?
Yeah, the full session there it is,
the red one.
That's this one. Yeah, we'll change the color.
Blue.
Change the color, we'll make it blue.
For buying. All right. The session VWAP never got over the 200. It's something now that makes me lean bearish tonight, personally.
Okay.
Why? We need to clear that with some volume. In other words, we have committed buying.
100%.
So, great move last night, though. And actually, a great sell. That kind of looks like the action we had early in the NASDAQ and the S&P.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's one of the things we talked about during the opening call today. Gold is attempting price-wise to trade above this 200 moving average, but you might have heard me mention it to Paul, exactly what Coach Paul, I mentioned it to Hogue this morning, exactly what Coach Paul just said, right? I like the fact that gold is attempting to trade above this 200 moving average on a price basis. But if this VWAP doesn't cross above, I can't trust the move. Now, does that mean that there isn't a trade? 100% there is a trade. But now I'm going with reasonable expectation. If there's no volume to continue to push above that 200 moving average, this is thin air up here. So at some point, you keep buying something and it doesn't go up and you're the only one buying it. Everyone's us is selling. Hey, I got to sell too. The gold opening range trade this morning turned out to be a pretty good trade. We didn't take it in the house account, but here is 8:20 Eastern time. And turned out to be a pretty good trade. We had a candle close outside the range. That's been our confirmation, if you will. But if you go with let me remove this SMIO indicator. I don't know what that thing is, but I know what this one is, the average true range. I can tell you how to use that, right? So if we use an ATR on the candle close outside of the range and we get long here, 10-point stop. Even though that you got the market direction wrong for the day, there is still a 2-to-1 trade off of that opening range breakout, right? Let's say we didn't get the perfect entry. Let's say we got it up here somewhere. We're risking about 10 points. This move right here may have stopped you out. But 10 points of risk, you get a two ATR move or 4 ATR move to the upside, a 2-to-1 trade. A pretty good trade where, simple execution. It's an opening range trade. If the market closes outside that range to the upside, buy it. If it closes to the downside, sell it. But your risk is defined. It's a low probability trade. You hear Hogan JD say that all the time. But if you let it play out, and he pointed at let it play out and get all the way to the 2-to-1 target, you didn't even have to get the direction right on gold today. But that failure, Coach Paul, over the 200 moving average, I have to agree with you. I'm going to be on slow markets with Dakota tonight. If we trade up here and there's no volume, I likely will be short gold, but I can't just blind short it. Like you said, it is not just a blind trade. I got to see what the market says about it and then get in from there. Anything else you got on gold?
No. Well, I think we covered it well. And I'm interested to see. I didn't see silver at all today.
We can take a look at it. And OVCon Trades ask a question. Is that the reason price fell so far so fast? No VWAP conviction. In my opinion, yeah, right? If a market gets far away from the average price, no volume in it, it's thin air, right? It's thin air up there. And the higher we go without volume trading higher, those levels are just going to get run through quicker than we can. Because again, it's thin. No one is up there to have to defend those prices, right? The average is much lower. Here's silver, Coach Paul. Yeah, go ahead.
Another way to look at that is we got away from the VWAP, from the session VWAP. All right. Now, to do that, you had to have what? Some buying, some volume. Price doesn't move on its own. It needs volume. So
Right.
we were getting away from VWAP at that time, which is the average price with volume calculated into it. Now, is it the reason it broke? I can't say that.
Right.
But as markets develop and you add volume and price, the farther away you get from that average price, the less momentum it will have, because it has to have sustained new energy. But be aware when you're that far away.
Yep.
And then I would also say incorporate it in your trading plan for awareness. Now, there is no sure thing, but it's a great tool to understand as the markets develop. If I have a target, I use this myself. If I have a target and I'm getting away from the VWAP, right? And if we put a volume profile on there, I might see something else.
Right.
Where the point of control lifted all the way to where I'm at, and I'm away from VWAP. Well, to me, that's a warning. And it did. And there it is. All right. So that volume point of control, we're away from VWAP. all of a sudden, and you see volume point of control moved way up. What does that mean? Okay, now the market is accepted, the volume is being accepted. There's value.
Mhm.
And beware. Just to me, I've been using it. I'll either just cut it if I'm looking for a higher price. I would just cut it or put it, tag when we move there. You can, be creative. Tag a VWAP when it goes up there the first time.
Right.
But it's just to go back to that question. It's not just that it's relative, because remember when we started in this move at night, we had fragmented information, just the opening. And then as we move forward, we get more information. There's some volume. It's moving it higher. We have a trend moving higher, being sustained by VWAP rising. All right. And as we rallied, look at the point of control. What was it doing? Well, it was flat until we spent some time and some volume. Now it's gone to another level. But at this level, now that volume is being accepted. The buyers and sellers are meeting. That's good information. To me, that's a red flag. Like, okay, it's lost some of its energy.
Yep.
But I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Balaji says, can we then say that VWAP is acting as a magnet? If I had to explain VWAP in a sentence, it's a measure of how strong the flow is in the market. Because we had somebody earlier this week ask, hey, what happens when price gets so far away from VWAP? That's a sign, right? It's a sign that up here, the flow is not as strong as it maybe was earlier on in the move. Right? So we've said it before, if you identify a trending market, the best entries are likely going to be closer to VWAP. But if we get too extended from it and that angle of VWAP starts to flatten out, that means that flow is starting to slow down a little bit. And maybe that could, indicate a potential end of a move and a reversion back to it. But great question for sure. Coach Paul, you wanted to look at silver. Let's take a look at silver here. Kind of the same as gold. Not really doing too much. What are we saying here?
No, you might say, but I still think gold is a little more buoyant than gold.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to say that for me at $54 an ounce. But still have that double top. We're holding above the 20. We could be stuck in a pattern here for there's only 6 weeks left.
Yep.
So if I could float a coin, my meme coin right now, are metals going to stay in this range till the end of the year?
Okay.
It would be my option. I'm just starting to get the feeling that's a distinct possibility. And
Staying
silver
in this range,
gold,
100%.
yeah.
100%. I could not agree more with that. The party's over for now.
Now, here's another thing with silver. Let's go back to the bottom where this rally started and put a trend line. Oh, go to the oh, wow, coach. It is so much easier to do them with just the settlement.
Yes, it is. Shout out to
All right.
Antonio. I don't know if you watched that segment. Myself, Dakota, and Antonio for Trade with Topstep, and was trading on a line chart. Trading on a line chart. You would
Old
have liked that one,
school.
Coach Paul.
Did he have a pencil?
I think Antonio's in the chat. You could ask, but he had a candle
Great.
chart up on one side and a line chart on the other side, and he said it smooths out the price action, so I don't get caught up in all of the fluctuations of wicks and all these other things. Turned out to be a great trade. And there is Antonio in the chat. Here's that trend line you got, Coach Paul.
Okay. That's a great trend. Let's ask Antonio. Yeah, here, why I bring that up, we have not broke that trend in what, 6 months?
Yep.
So that's a pretty strong trend. It's at about a 45 degree. That we have not priced out of it. If we put a anchor of VWAP to the beginning of that, right there,
That is the trend line.
it's the trend line. And we're kind of far here, but now we're looking at that, and we're a little far away from it. Now, silver is probably going into, yeah, I'm almost positive. Coach Troop, is it gone into rollover? Yeah, most like gold is in the rollover. And so that can affect this too. So gold will go to February, silver will go to March futures date. I think that can have an effect on this too. So, but inside of all this, we are what?
In a range.
Yeah, and we're day traders. So let's take a look at the half hour.
Very similar to gold here. Is this similar to gold? Yep. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Here, it's almost the same chart.
yeah. So, now when we go into rollover, be prepared. It changes the data on the short term a bit on volume. It won't change it in VWAP, but on the volume structures, it will, because volume is now switching from December to gold case to February,
Right.
in silver's case to March. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Let's
All right.
good stuff on that. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude was interesting last night. And
maybe we shouldn't be beating crude up.
no, we just
like
got
we
it. So
have to.
patterns are patterns until they break, right? Here's the pattern that I've recognized in crude. Let me see. You can't call something a pattern unless it happens 3 times in a row. All right. So we got 2 so far. Here's last Wednesday in crude. This is the Globex Open. That's last Wednesday. Here's today. If it happens 3 times, it's a pattern.
What was Thursday?
I'm watching you. Say it again.
What was Thursday's?
Little consolidation at the lows and then a bounce. And then Friday, we got a reversal of that move. So am I saying that that's going to happen again today? Going into Thursday, we'll see. We'll see. But if you look at crude on a daily, something spectacular would have to happen for that not to be the case, right? I mean, look at the overlap on these daily candles. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We talked about it yesterday. If you are a range trader, this is where you want to be. We just bounced off the low of that range, right? This is not financial advice, but the trade has been sell it somewhere above 60.50, buy it below 59, and rinse and repeat until that changes. And that is not financial advice. Probably not a great way to, actually, I can't even say that. If your risk is defined on a trade like that, it could be a great set and forget trade. And, it's not going to get all the eyes. I know Braden's been trading it. He was trading it on fast markets this morning. It's not going to get everybody's attention, but here is a high to low $2 move in crude oil. There is opportunity there. It's just not going to go anywhere on a higher time frame.
I see there's some little chatter in the from our listeners about does it really matter long-term stuff on if we're day traders?
Great question.
It is a great question.
Great question.
Now I'm a natural swing trader, and it took me a while to make a little adjustment between swing trading and day trading. But the time frames. For me, I look at, let's see, if I look at the daily, the half hour, then the 3 minute, maybe the 1 minute on the opening. But in that, so I can get an idea of if there's a trend, where my bias can come from. But I execute, this is important, I execute it during the daytime frame on a 3 minute. You could use a 5 minute, whatever it is. You could use 1 minute even.
Yep.
Although you're going to trade more. But that's the hierarchy to get an idea of what the market's doing. That there's a lot of people who do that, but you could be one person and that just looks at the day time frame. Some people don't. I don't want to see. I've seen guys that don't show me a chart. I'll trade on feel. Whatever it is, you better, first of all, you better learn how to manage your risk.
Yep.
Be able to take good losses and be consistent. Anything you have to add to that, Coach?
Do the higher time frame matter? I think what the higher time frame does for me, because like you, Coach Paul, I use a daily 30-minute and then a shorter time frame. What the higher time frame tells me is what I can expect out of a trade, right? If you're a scalper, do you need to do any higher time frame analysis? No, you could probably wake up 5 minutes before the market's open and scalp some opportunities from the market. Now, do I suggest doing that? Probably not, but the higher time frames probably don't mean anything if you're looking for 10 to 15 points out of the NASDAQ, which is a feasible trading strategy. For me, the higher time frame tells me what I can expect out of a trade day to day, and that's the information I get from it. But do I go all the way out to a weekly? Only on Fridays. Only on Fridays to see what happened. But Bullet Traders agrees with you, Paul. Looking at higher time frames to formulate a bias and create a plan based on if, what, or when type of scenarios, and then look for entries on the lower time frame. Yeah, I think that's the key. That is the key. Crude oil, again, real quick. This was nothing but an urgency trade overnight. If you're a first-time viewer and you're wondering what we're talking about, we have a 30-minute range established on the open. This is 6 p.m. Eastern time. You attach a VWAP to that, and that VWAP never traded above the range. Price didn't either. And once that volume left the range, we got pretty aggressive to the downside. A lot of the volume picked up during the London session. We know that as the time that we start to see some energy, no pun intended, pick up in crude oil. But we rejected right at that Globex open. These are not huge moves, right? So, if I'm trading crude, which I'm not, because I said I wasn't going to trade it for the rest of the year. Hope I don't regret saying that. But wide stop somewhere near the extreme, and then just let the market work. But it would have to be a set and forget trade. If I'm trading crude and I'm trading it like a NASDAQ scalper, I'm going to be upset, because there are not many times where the market looks exactly like this. But again, sell it above 60.50, buy it below 59. Then the trade until it's not. Anything else you got on crude? We can take a look at natural gas. Also, we're above time. I know we had a little watch party.
We're going to have a watch hangover now?
Yeah, right. Natural gas, quick look on this one. What is that white line on the daily?
Bueller.
What is that white line on the daily? We took a look at the 20-day moving average. We talked about this one yesterday, right? Is this just a short covering rally, or is this a market finding buyers? That is a interesting look there at natural gas. Our biggest percentage mover on the day to the upside, 4.42%. Take a look at the 30-minute chart there. Almost the exact opposite of crude oil.
Yeah, could be the ARB. Another thing with natural gas, really until Europe opens up, it's going to be 90% of the time it's going to be dead. And then when it's 6 a.m. Central, it really starts picking up, because
You mean right here when it just
Yeah, because it's a U.S. Product.
Mhm.
It's Henry Hub, natural gas. But you still, like we said, when we're talking about fragmented information, we get a little bit more, a little bit more. So if we're coming into the morning, if we take into that 6 o'clock, let's take a look at a volume profile
from what time?
from the opening until 5 o'clock, just before the 6 o'clock what we were talking about. And right there. Oh my God.
What happened?
Look what that okay.
You all right?
The volume profile never went higher after that.
Let's see. We'll pull it.
It's okay now, but what I'm saying from the night,
Yeah.
it never
Okay.
moved. So let's see where we come in.
Mhm.
Now, keep moving it. And we moving it one at a time. See how it's not accepting. There's no, what I'm trying to say, there was no counter right there. Even
Right.
then, it held it.
Yep.
But what does that mean? There was trap shorts there.
Gotcha.
Think about it. And look at the candles. They're all blue, 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 blue.
Yeah.
Have you ever been caught short on something like that and going, well, I'll just buy the next dip?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yep.
when
Did happen.
when you see it this way, you know that you just got to take the beating and get out.
Take your loss. Take
All
your
right.
losses. All right. We went over the big five. We got to talk about natural gas as one of the big five because it is consistently, and I'm comfortable saying this, going to consistently be in the top percentage movers from now until the end of January. So market presenting opportunity. Anything else we want to talk about, Coach Paul? I know there was a yen. Japanese yen getting it. Whoa, look at that. You talked about lows of the year 2 days ago. Not the low if it keeps selling. These are lows. These are like multi-year lows.
I don't want to see the end. I've tried to avoid. I tried to sell it.
I'm sorry.
I sold it last time. I got stopped out.
I'm sorry, Coach Paul. I had to bring it up. It was too good of a
Hey,
trade.
you know what? I could have got back in. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some meditation and maybe punch a wall. No,
Let's do some
no.
push-ups.
It started breaking in Europe,
Yeah, it did.
and I wasn't available for that. So
Right. Got to sleep at
when
some
I
point.
looked at 8 o'clock this morning, I couldn't find a place to lean on it. But hey, under the white line, touching yearly lows, it needs some catalyst to turn us around. And
Some
by the
Bank of Japan
way,
intervention.
I don't think they can do it.
Really?
We'll go in more into it. We're going to hear that word again, Japanese yen, because this is happening with almost record high interest rates for Japan on their bonds. So they have a debt problem like we do, and they can't find buyers, and they might have to repatriate some of their investments. So we'll get deeper into that, but wow, what a move.
Yeah. Huge move there in the yen. What was it down today? Yeah. Okay. Down 0.06%. That's not right. That's not right. I got to check that because that is not correct. We are down about 1.25% on the yen. Last, we had somebody ask for the 30-year, the treasury products. This looks like a crude oil chart. On a higher time frame, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Stuck in a range. Stuck in. Anything else you got, Coach Paul? Before we go, anything on your scouting report?
Oh,
The end was a good
Bitcoin.
one. Bitcoin trading below 90,000, closing. Oh, closed above 90,000.
Had a nice break today.
Yes, it did.
That chart looks like some Japanese bankers are selling it, raising capital.
Right.
But yeah, I had a decent break. Had from the opening last night. Made some short covering late, but that's still on the daily, on the short term. This market does not look like it's turned around. Still looking very heavy. And that's all I have.
Awesome stuff. I got nothing else. We got Coach Hoop doing a class in Discord at 6 p.m. Eastern time. After that, we got Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. Coach Dakota, of course, with Slow Markets tonight. I will be joining him. We got Aaron with the London Open, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. D with the Euro Trade, 4:30 Eastern. I was actually able to catch part of D in his stream this morning because that is when you take a puppy outside for his morning walk. So great stuff, D, this morning. Coach Paul, anything you got before we go?
Trade your plan and plan your trade. And we will talk again tomorrow.
Absolutely. Tomorrow is going to be a data heavy day. I know we don't talk much about how to trade the data because I don't have a plan for trading the data other than let the volatility play out in the market and then see from there, right? The market response is going to tell you how to trade the data. You can try to guess where it's going to go. I just know for myself, hasn't really worked out a lot. So let the dust settle. Right after that, that is going to be my plan going into tomorrow. And I'll take a look at the Trader Hub. We have non-farm payrolls, jobless claims, unemployment, existing home sales. A lot of this back data from the government shutdown. We will see how the market responds to it. It's been about 50 days or so. We got some of these numbers. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. We appreciate you all being here, hanging out for an extended version of At the Buzzer, earnings call edition. Nvidia runs the world. We will talk to you all tomorrow. Trade well, manage your risk, be safe out there. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.